Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ismail from Business Information Systems. So before I start, maybe I just introduce to you a video about Google Docs and Drive. Just like Chien, before we start, I will do activate my screencast. Right, before I start, can I just ask the audience, anyone is currently using Google Drive already? Okay, quite familiar with Google Drive already. Okay, anyone using Dropbox? Quite a lot of people using Dropbox as well. What about Box? OneDrive? Okay, so Google Drive is basically very similar in functionality, just like Dropbox, OneDrive, Box, and so on. But basically, what is Google Drive? Google Drive is an online storage. Okay, you can treat Google Drive like your hard disk. So Google gives you about 15 gigabytes of hard disk space, okay, for you to use online. Okay, so what can you do with this online space? Sometimes we wish that, for example, how we wish that when we are traveling somewhere, we have our computer with us because we want to share the files with somebody. Okay, or, for example, a student calls us and we need to get some information for the students, but we are not at our desktop, we do not have our notebook with us. Okay, so, but we have our mobile phones, because all of us have a mobile phone. So with Google Drive, if you share your files online, you can keep your files online. So once you keep your files online, your files can be accessed through your phone, through your tablet, through any thin client, even if you buy just a Google Chrome set. Okay, you've heard of a computer that's about $250. Okay, just runs Google Chrome with no Microsoft OS, no Microsoft Office, and so on. Okay, so you are able to access those files from any devices, anywhere, anytime, okay, as long as you have the internet. So basically, it refers to cloud computing where your files are kept online. Okay, but if you compare the functionalities between Google Drive, Dropbox, okay, OneDrive, Box, and so on and so forth, all the online storage, you will realize that the capability to share are very similar. Okay, Dropbox can also share files, you can also give permission. In terms of security, they're all on par because they are providing services to the public. But what is special about Google Drive is that Google, being a very big and a giant internet company, has resources all over the world. what Google does is that it is able to integrate all its services, okay, into one setup, into one network. Okay? So along with this, Google gives you access to free Office productivity suite. So imagine you do not have to buy Microsoft Office anymore. I'm not selling Google products, but I'm just sharing with you something that I'm very excited about. Okay, so imagine you do not have to buy Microsoft Office anymore. And if you're using OneDrive, you probably have to subscribe to Microsoft 365, if I'm not mistaken. It's license-based. On a yearly or 2-yearly basis, you have to continue to pay in order to use it. Okay? With Google Drive, Google provides you with their own suite of productivity tools. Like for example, you have Microsoft Word, okay, which they call it documents, and you have Excel, and they call it spreadsheets. They have presentations, which is just like a keynote in the Mac, or you have the presentation or PowerPoint slides, and you have drawings like Paint, and you can also have forms, okay, where you can gather feedback and conduct survey. So today afterwards, I'm going to show you how I use all these tools to teach my students and how do I interact with the students. Okay? So with Google Drives, okay, as I said, the functionality are very similar to the ones that we have in Dropbox and so on. You can share and you can distribute files with customized permissions. Okay? You can collaborate globally anywhere you are in the world, and you can use their Office suites for free. Okay? And you can synchronize files from the desktop. Anything that you have on the desktop, you can create a folder, keep it on the desktop, the next moment you see it is already on the drive. Okay? And you can connect to cloud-based apps. What it means is that if you view Google Drive, you can view Google Drive just like a file explorer. Okay? Imagine it's a file explorer on your desktop. Okay? And Google itself, you can imagine that it is trying to create something like an operating system. So by clicking on Drive, you'll be able to have access to applications. Just like Microsoft, you click on the Start button, you can see all the applications. So Google is transforming the web to become a giant computer. So not just a desktop for you to bring along, the entire internet is like your desktop. Okay, this is what they're trying to do. So one thing is that it's accessible via the desktop or mobile or anywhere. And you can access Google Drive from anywhere, from any devices. And even if you have the most expensive notebook, or you have a very simple smartphone, or you buy those tablets, it's $100, maybe China-made tablet and so on. As long as you have access to the internet, you can use Google Drive. That means you can edit documents, you can share documents, you are able to do many things with it. Okay? So that's about all the selling about Google Drive and Docs. Now let me quickly give you a demonstration about how I actually use this product, okay, for my classes. So I'll show you how I use Google Drive in teaching, okay, how I use Google Docs in students' engagement, and how I actually use Google Forms, okay, to get feedback from the students to understand whether they understood my lessons or not. Okay, for a start, if you have already logged on to Google, the normal Google using your Gmail and a Google account, okay, you can select the app launcher icon here. So the app launcher icon has something called Drive. So when you click on Drive, what you will see is that you will be able to see something known as Create. This is where Google allows you to create Office documents on the fly online. There is no need to install any software, you just need to click. So for example, if you want to open a Microsoft, create a document, for example. So immediately just by creating, and the nice thing is that all the functions that use in the mouse, you right click, you insert, paste, and so on, everything works on the browser. Okay, let me show you a very interesting thing that I really like a lot. So for example, I have something called the map of Singapore. Okay, and I'm already connected to the internet. I can just right click and I research Singapore. Okay, so when I research Singapore, see what happens? There's a map of Singapore coming here. Okay, I press enter, I click on insert, see what happens. Okay, so the map of Singapore gets transferred into my document. Okay, and let's say for example, okay, I have something called fish. Okay, so let's say I look for fish. So I do research fish again. Okay, I have all sorts of fish that I can select. But let's say I would like to have some definition of fish. See what happens? I can insert citation. This is very useful if you're writing papers for any conferences and so on. I find this the most useful thing about Google Docs personally. You see, the citations come in automatically for you. Okay, so there's no need for you to go and put in your references and so on. The citations come in automatically just by clicking. Okay, and the nice things about this, I think this is also present in other in OneDrive, where you can have multiple edits. Up to 50 users can concurrently edit your document. So just now you saw in the video, when somebody types, the name of the user will be shown that he is actually typing something. So imagine now you are working, you are collaborating, you are on leave, your friend's overseas, somebody's in the office, and someone else is at home. Okay? So we need to submit the document urgently. So you can say we have a 4-page, you do page 1, I do page 2, another person do page 3, another person do page 4. So they all can come in and type at the same time, and they can even chit-chat with one another, they can even discuss. So there is a chat function at the side, you can even discuss. And by the end of it, you only have one document, no version control because there's only one document. And there's no need to email back and forth to your friends in order to do all these things. Okay? That is Google Docs. And how is it useful for our students? I'm sure our students have to do projects like life skills, and our students always complain, Chair, I do not have Office. I have a computer, I do not have Microsoft Office, I have a tablet only, I use it to watch movies. Our students always like to do that. So now you can tell the student, you can go connect to Google Drive, no more excuses, you can even collaborate even on a tablet, even on a phone, okay, with all your friends, and you have to submit all your documents. So this is what I did for my students. Okay. For the subject that I'm teaching networking, so I actually create a folder which I shared with all my students. Okay? So for example, my student will complain, Sir, I do not have Packet Tracer to do your networking project, your networking assignment. Or by the time they are at home, they message me on a Saturday afternoon saying that, can we come back to school to copy the file? It's on our student's PC. Okay? So what I did, I just put the file on. Of course, this must be copyright free and so on. Okay, so these are the free software, so I put it online so my students are able to access. Okay? Another thing is that I can share things after they have learned something, so I created mind maps for them, so they can just download through their phone. They'll be sitting on the bus, okay, download the JPEG mind map, so as they're on the bus, they can actually go through, instead of just surfing other people's Instagram and so on, they can learn a bit about this. Okay? So another one, what I also do is that I used to collect all their exercises that they do. My lab exercises that I ask them to do, I ask them to upload. Okay, I actually ask them to upload. So whoever has uploaded, I actually know because the owner's name is there. Okay, and I know when they actually upload. So all the files are already there. Okay, so I'm able to find out whether my students have uploaded. So this creates some peer pressure. During class, I will flash this on the screen. Then I said who has uploaded, because Google gives you an instantaneous update. When somebody uploads a file, automatically the uploaded file will appear. So if I show this on a projector, the students immediately feel very pressured. They also have to upload because they want to go off. Okay, so that's how I actually collect all the things from them. Okay, so so basically I use Google Drive for this particular purpose. Okay, so to collect all the files and documents and so on. The other thing that I use is to communicate with my student. Like for example, next week, okay, on the Hari Raya week, okay, fortunately or unfortunately, we have to conduct a test. Okay, so I use spreadsheets. Okay, I use Sheets, Google Sheets, and I actually assign, because we have a practical test, we have only a limited number of equipment, so I have to split them into 2 days. Okay. So what I do, I first organize what I want my student or who I want to be in which day. Then I flash it to them. Okay, then ask them, do you have any objections? Do you want to change? Like the Muslim students, they said, oh, can we have it on a Wednesday? Tuesday is just one day after Hari Raya and so on. Can you please be thoughtful and things like that? So I make the changes. Okay, when I make the changes are immediate. There's only one copy of the document. So what I do, I publish the document here on their Facebook, because students always go to the Facebook. So I just tell them the link to the document is in the Facebook. So any changes is instantaneous, immediate. So whoever accesses it will get the latest update. Okay, they'll get the latest update. Sorry. And another thing is that things like, for example, over the weekend they want to practice on their own, so I share a file with them on Google Drive. Okay, I actually share a file with Google Drive. And one last thing I wanted to show is the use of forms. I want to gather some feedback from the student. I want to know whether do they understand the lessons that they have learned or not. So I create a quiz. Okay, I create a quiz and I post it on Facebook also. So they can take the quiz. So for example, so this person answers. Okay, let's say he just answers anyhow and then he submits. Okay, so I leave it open. He is able to see, he's able to change his response, or he's able to see what other people answer. I do not have the time to go to the spreadsheet and count how many correct, how many wrong. But with Google Forms, I'm able, with a click of a button, get a summary and know how many people actually answered the questions correctly. So for example here, what does LEND stand for? I know 67% of my students who attempted actually know the answer. So I have to work on the other 33% and you know, maybe the way I explained is not correct and so on. Okay, so you can get all this information tabulated for you graphically. Okay? So this is how I actually solicit feedback from the students. And Google, I just found out recently that Google is introducing a new product called Google Classroom. Okay, with forms are actually designed automatically to collect feedback. So there is no marking capability. Let's say, for example, you cannot tell the students that your answer is correct, your answer is wrong. You need to use a third-party software to integrate whatever that Google gives you. But I think come end of this year, if I'm not mistaken, Google will be introducing something called the Google Classroom. You can create assignments, okay, you can create tests, you can even create individual folders for students to submit their assignments for you to mark. And you can get feedback to you can give feedback back to the students as well. Okay, so I think Google owns a lot of resources on the internet. Their intention is very clear. You realize that they would like to be able to create a giant computer with all the applications. I wanted to show you this. Okay, not only do you have all these applications here, you can connect to whatever other applications that is available simply just by clicking, just like installing a software. So imagine you buy a desktop, you install a software. So for example, you would like to use a particular software, maybe Cloud Convert or Fax or whatever software. All you need to do is just to click, and the software will be connected, and you're connected. And the next thing you have it, okay. When you click create, the software is already installed for you. Okay, so it's just like what do you call it? A drop-down file explorer. It's a start button. When you click start, you see all your software there. But this time around, everything is accessible via the Chrome browser. So it's very thin client, and Google owns most Android phones as well. All their Android operating system. I mean, all the Android phones uses Android that belongs to Google. Okay, the Android OS actually belongs to Google. So you can see the penetration. Alright, so I will hand over. I actually use more things, but then I reserve it for some other time. Okay, I also have things like sites and so on, but I will hand over to our next Google educator, Madam Suja, so she will explain to you more about sites.
Thank you, Ismail. I think you must take a short break. I mean, the two presentations.